Good morning, day of Security. I am so honored and thrilled to be here. First, huge thank you to Deidre and Kelly and all of the other amazing Day of Security volunteers. What an amazing turnout, a cybersecurity conference just for us. We have an incredible 2 days ahead of us. A combination of practical and tactical, along with professional guidance and advice, spread among almost 75 speakers. I am honored to join alongside these impressive and powerful women who are leading our industry forward. I am so excited for all you are going to hear and learn across these many stages. So we're going to have some fun this morning, and you will walk away with some action items. I bet you didn't know that there would be homework, but I do promise it'll be worth it, even if it's just one little tidbit that you walk away with. So hello there, I'm Amy Devers. I'm Chief of Staff and Head of People and Culture at Jupiter One, a cybersecurity SaaS company. Let's talk about cheat codes for success. But first, who am I and why should you listen to me? So my professional experience, I started in business operations and sales, individual contributor and leadership roles for about 10 years. And then I transitioned into a second career in people operations. In that time, I have interviewed and hired thousands of folks at high growth companies. I can offer some insider tips and tricks. Can't hurt, might help. Personally, I am married. I have a 13-year-old son and a very spoiled cockapoo named Freddie. Something that's important for you to know is I am a hard mode graduate. So I'm here today to share some mistakes and successes for your benefit. So learn from me and make your life easier. I have a sense of humor, a strong appreciation for dad jokes and dark comedy. So I apologize in advance if my jokes are a little cheesy, goofy, or offensive to you. But mostly the reason why I'm here today is because I am a firm believer in supporting others. Especially as we, lock arms to help advance women and underrepresented minorities, especially in cybersecurity. All right, so let's move on to my next slide here. So why cheat codes for success? I might be showing my age a little bit here, but is anybody familiar with the Konami code? You see in the chat, I've got a clap. All right. So for those of you who are not super familiar, and for those, you'll appreciate this. So the Konami code was created by Hashimoto at Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was invented for a game called Contra. And when Hashimoto developed Contra, he knew it was a really difficult game. For those of you not in the know who were born in this century, the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was tough. You did not have unlimited lives. There was no respawning. It was like you had X amount of lives and that was it. In Contra, you had 3 lives. So once your 3 lives were up, you had to start from the very beginning of the game. So Hashimoto, in all his brilliance, created a cheat code, the up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, start. And what that did is it unlocked 30 free lives before you started the game. And the great benefit of that is that it also unlocked special rewards and other free lives and other sorts of just things to make it easier to go from hard mode to easier mode in 30 different games. So I like to use this as the frame for this talk today to say, let's get you from hard to easy mode. Now, what I'm going to share with you is not going to be earth-shattering. And so don't be disappointed when it seems overly simplistic. Some of these are going to be very basic. but sometimes we need reminding. So think of this as perhaps learning a new shortcut in your hometown. This would have saved you so much time. All right, so the 3 codes, let's get into it. Start today from right where you are. Focus on what you want and go for it, and be your own bestie. And no, not that one, the honest one. All right, so let's get into it. So cheat code number 1, start today from right where you are. So wherever you are starting, you are already on your way to success. Now, I'm going to share some intimate details of my life, some personal stories, some anecdotes. And I share this with the framing that wherever you are is okay. So what you see today, Amy Devers, Chief of Staff, Head of People and Culture, somebody that's experienced some great success in their career. But what you didn't see is I almost died at 14 years old. I was homeless at 16. I had a successful business, and then that success went away. I've experienced divorce. I was laid off. I've had a brain tumor. I went back to school and didn't graduate from college until 35 years old. At one point in my career, I had to take a step back in order to gain additional experience, AKA a huge pay cut to the tune of about $40,000. So I share all of this to say, not let me pat Amy on the back like she's overcome all this adversity, but to say at any one of those points, I could have thrown in the towel and nobody would have blamed me. So wherever you are is okay, and you can still achieve wild success right from here. And that's the whole point of this conference is look at all of these amazing people that are here to share knowledge with you and help you unlock whatever success looks like for you in your future. All right, so it is never too early or too late to decide who you are and what impact you're going to make. So even in your darkest days, think of younger you and make them proud. And look, sometimes we roll back on our expectations for ourselves, and that's okay, but don't live there. Just take a beat, dust your shoulders off, and move on. And you know, there's this idea that everything has to be some massive, heroic story of overcoming adversity. It's ridiculous. So yes, I have overcome adversity, but am I extraordinary or somehow special? No, I am sure that there are far smarter, more talented people here today on this call. So what I want to leave you with in this cheat code is, I'm proud of you today for doing one thing that moves you forward. Just one, you're here. So remember, inch by inch is a cinch. Okay, so let's talk about this cheat code. I say start today from right where you are. So how do you do that? So one thing I want you to think about is, what can you do today to highlight your value? And I'll tell you a story. I have a friend, and this is a true story. This is not hyperbole. This isn't me making this up. She was in kind of a early to mid level position. She really wanted to be promoted into leadership. She wanted people to take her more seriously and treat her at that more senior level. And she also wanted to unlock some additional wealth for herself, right? So more money. And one of the things that she was tasked with was our reporting analytics. And so she was hearing the feedback that we were looking for better dashboards. Take these sort of plain vanilla, boring reports and make them into quick dashboards that were easy to digest and then easy for leaders to translate out to their audiences. So my friend, she spent some nights, some weekends watching YouTube videos, Googling, and teaching herself how to make amazing dashboards. And I'm just talking like pivot tables and basic design. All of a sudden, People were blown away. She had some magic formula. Who is this person that has these amazing reports? Nobody's digging through the data. They see these dashboards, and that translated to a promotion within weeks and an extra $20,000 in weeks. And so I share all that to say, you have all the power you need today to make a massive impact on your future. Take it from my friend. A few hours on the weekends translated into $20,000 extra. So start today from right where you are. All right, so next cheat code. Focus on what you want and go for it. So we find what we look for. So let's get crystal clear on what you want to see. So I firmly believe that we find what we look for. So everybody's heard this example of the new car, right? You get a new car, maybe it's red, maybe it's blue, maybe it's just a particular kind of car. Now, all of a sudden, you see that car everywhere, right? It's all you see. And it's like, how did all of a sudden everybody has the same car as you or the same color car as you? It's just simple. We are now looking for what we want to see. So another super real personal story that I'll share. So after I got divorced, this was about 12 years ago, I made a list, like an actual list of the ideal qualities in a partner that were important to me. I wanted to be crystal clear about who I brought into my life next. So I sat down and I wrote it out, right? The ideal for me, ideal man commandments, right? Because it is so important to focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. I could have easily made a list of all the things that I don't want in a partner, but I made the intentional choice to get really clear about what I do want. So then that's what I look for, rather than being stuck in this, well, I don't want that. So also, like, this is real. This is the list from 12 years ago. I won't read it to you because it's really embarrassing. Well, not really, but are you curious how I did? My spouse meets probably 8 or 9 out of the 10, depending on how strict we're adhering to the list. But I found what I was looking for because I was intentional about it. And so how do we translate this into your career? I share this because it's so important to be clear about not what company or even what job, but what values or criteria is important to you. So it may surprise you what you discover about yourself by going through this exercise. So I said there would be homework. So what I challenge you to do is make a list today about what are your 10 career commandments. So I'm sharing on the screen here what it might look like. So these are from my perspective. This can look a lot different to you, but things like it's important for me to have the ability to be creative with writing and speaking opportunities, to get exposure cross-functionally across an organization, having tools and resources that I need to be the best version of myself, and especially working for a leader or leaders who challenge me to be a better version of myself every day. So I said there was homework, but there's a gift. So for the first 5 people to write down their list of 10 commandments and email it to me, I will send you in the mail a signed copy of Reinventing Cybersecurity. Now, this is a practical guide written by 19 women and non-binary authors. It is the first of its kind, and it is currently required reading at several cybersecurity programs across the country on the syllabus. I will share my contact information at the end of this talk. Do they have the right experience and aptitude? 2, have they been trusted to get stuff done in the past and they delivered? And 3, are they a team player? Also known as, will they be an HR nightmare or a dream? So Get clear on your commandments, know what's important to you, and then use that list to sell your strengths. By knowing exactly what you want, you will begin to find ways to go for it and manifest this into your life. All right, so now for our final cheat code. Be honest with yourself. Be your own bestie. Own your strengths, supplement your weaknesses. All right, so since you know all my secrets now and we're really close, I know I can be vulnerable here. So let me share with you a personal rejection. Because remember, I'm a job seeker too. I'm currently employed, but I have been many times in my life. And you already know that I've had new careers and been laid off and took a step back. So I've been there. All right, so let me set the stage. Divorced, business partnership ended. I've got this incredible opportunity to reinvent myself, but no one really knows me outside of my current industry. So I'm starting from scratch. No network, no connections, and worse, I'm trying to break into a new career with no formal direct experience. So there's some odds against me. And frankly, I'm sweating a little bit just thinking about it and reliving it. And on top of this, I'm also a single mom. So now I'm a single mom, child to feed. No one's going to make this happen except me. So I swallow my pride and I say, I will take whatever job will hire me right now until I figure out my path. I also decided to go back to school because, I just can't have things easy for myself. So I apply, I interview, I apply, I interview, I apply, I interview. Nobody's ever been through that process, right? And then finally, I have this great interview with CEO. Company is decent. CEO seems like not a psycho, because remember, the bar is low here. And the job's pretty straightforward. Next step, behavioral assessment. I'm good, I'm golden, right? Of course, I'm going to nail this. I'm smart, I'm super capable. Everyone knows not to check the I get really frustrated when things don't go my way box on a behavioral assessment, right? So easy, confident, done. I check my inbox a couple days later. Thanks, but no thanks. Dagger to my heart. So I do what any respectable, pissed off, almost desperate job seeker would do. I ask for feedback. How could they possibly not choose me? And what's up with this stupid test? For shame. So I was simply not ready for what came next. The assessment saw right through me. And what it said was, Amy, you have incredible qualities, but they're not right for this role. Because what you are is a fixer, a builder, an optimizer. You find shortcuts and cut out bureaucracy. Your instincts are in innovating in unknowns. Those are amazing strengths, but it isn't what is needed for the role. We need someone to come in and do the job as is and follow exactly that process. You'll try to change the process. So at first I was like, excuse me. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what a gift. I didn't think so in the moment, but oh, what an insight. He was right. I have caused more headache and frustration to myself by trying to overcome the areas that I may never be amazing at. Once you start focusing on your own superpowers, that's where you really begin to shine. And sometimes you just need other people to point it out. Remember, feedback is fuel. So be your own very honest bestie about who you are and who you aren't. And I'll say all this to say there will be times that you will have to get work done that is not in your, what I call the power arena, right? Where you really shine and you're really in flow. That's okay. I call this the corporate hook, right? You have to be compliant. Don't get your company in trouble. It's not your favorite thing. Don't try to live there, but sometimes you still have to do that work. So if twice a year you have to do a thing, make it fun and plan around it. And keep in mind, life is a journey. Maybe you have to live outside your power arena for 12 months because maybe that just unlocks a whole new world for you. All right, so feedback's fuel. So my director of people operations, she always asks this question: would you rather hear no feedback at all, or would you rather hear constructive criticism? Because 9 times out of 10, people are like, give it to me rather than leave me wondering. So know your power arena and know where to bring in backup. And I'll give you an example in a moment. Rejection is okay and usually a springboard for something greater. You can't make progress if you don't know where you stand. And the shortest distance between 2 people is direct communication. So ask for feedback. Many, many years ago, I wrote an article on LinkedIn called something to the effect of, ask for feedback, but be ready to hear it, because sometimes we say we want it, but we're not ready to listen. And so that's my advice. Be ready to listen. All right, so let me just give you a real world example. Like, I am a terrible leave well enough alone person. I just shared with you, that was a real rejection, by the way. Like, that I copied and pasted that. It hurt my feelings at the time, but it's who I am. It's accurate. So I know I can brainstorm until the cows come home about an amazing idea after idea in the endless pursuit of continuous improvement. I can see the big picture. I can take a half-baked concept and make it brilliant. I can even break down each step needed for execution and know how to ascertain course correction and measure the results for effectiveness in the end. But just executing and getting into the nitty-gritty spreadsheet hell details on a project, no, thank you. Is it still hard for me to admit? Yes. Am I thinking right now, Mary is going to think that I'm a total fraud? What kind of leader can't just execute? And you know what I say, Mary? Why you have to call me out, Mary? No, really. I mean, it's fine. Knowing is half the battle, right? So I say that's why we surround ourselves with people who make us better, but also make sure you're in the right environment where you can be the best version of yourself. If you apply for a job that's strictly an execution role, no strategy, no continuous improvement or input from you required, just do the job, how quickly do you think you will burn out? So conversely, maybe you're an execution machine. My favorite people, by the way. And you're constantly being asked to come up with creative ideas, marketing strategies, areas for improvement, etc. How quickly are you going to hate your boss for asking? I promise, if you focus on amplifying your strengths rather than trying to overcome your weaknesses, all of a sudden you feel pretty damn good about what you are able to accomplish. So be your own true bestie and be honest with yourself. All right, so those are the 3 cheat codes to unlock easy or easier mode. Start today from right where you are. Focus on what you want and go for it. Be your own bestie. At Jupiter One, our tagline is so powerful. It rings true in so many areas of life. Know what you have. Focus on what matters. So thank you so much for your time today. Reminder, for the first 5 to email me your 10 career commandments, I will send you a copy of Reinventing Cybersecurity. How are we on time? I think we've got a few, Deidre, a minute here for questions. I know we have a big day, so I don't want to go over. All right, well, that concludes my talk. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm so excited for you. I am enamored and in awe of the quality of talent that we have lined up here, and what an incredible group of women and professionals and I was fangirling looking at the list. So I'm so excited to be here in this journey with you. And I wish you all the very, very best. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I am an open networker, happy to talk to anybody. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, if you'd like me to go in a little bit deeper, feel free to reach out. Like I said, I'm here to pass along, to get you out of hard mode and into easier mode. So thank you. Thank you again so much.